and you've enabled us to come to this moment when we launch the second international conference on curriculum development. We put before you the program of the day. We put before you the discussions that we have, and we put before you the preparations that will lead to this conference of God. We pray that may you guide our steps and give us insights on what we need to do, that at the end of it all, this will be a successful curriculum conference that will guide curriculum design and implementation, as well as extended stakeholder consultation for the benefit of this country, and more especially for the benefit of the children of Uganda who will be going through this education. This we pray through Jesus Christ our Lord.
Amen. Thank you very much, Baguma. We're going to just know who's in the room, introduce ourselves, name and title, and just under 30 seconds, so we know who's in the room, and then we begin from there.
Good morning, Dr. Pamela, Manager Research, NCDC. Good morning, Angela Chakara, Manager Quality Assurance and Publishing and Acting Deputy Director.
Good morning, Gilbert Sima, Manager Secretary.
Good morning, Grace Baguma, Director, National Culture and Development Center.
Good morning, everybody. You're most welcome. I am Professor George Penjuru, the Chairperson of Governing Council.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Richard Lumba. I'm the Deputy Director, responsible for research consultants and library services, and the chair of the steering committee for the conference.
Good morning, Kenneth Babuka is my name. Publishing Manager is under Printing and Publishing Corporation, Government Print and Digital Communication.
Maybe for the guests here.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lamek Agera. I work for World International Uganda as Permanent Manager and chair the language classroom education and emergency.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sinaburia Evans, Director, Secret Station House Communication.
Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Gaspar Kakare. I'm team leader at NDC. NDC stands for National Debate Council.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Joseph Rotomini. I work with Cambogo University and represent here in Kumbu.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Phil Vocation. I'm the in charge of Lecture.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm James Sudiaten Junaid, and I'm a member of the conference steering committee.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Wilfred Nahania. I work as the Deputy Secretary with Uganda Education and Emphasis in Technology.
Good morning, members.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm from Ministry of Education, Policy and Research Department. My name is Anthony Rwanda, Assistant Commissioner in charge of research.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the quick introductions. And now for the welcoming remarks, will come with me the Director, NCDC, Dr. Grace Baguma.
Chairperson, Governing Council, and the members of NCDC, Governing Council, including staff, our invited guests and colleagues from the different institutions, the participants, the media, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to National Curriculum Development Center, and good morning to all of you. It is my great honor to welcome you all to the launch of the second international conference on curriculum development, scheduled for April 2026. Your presence here today is a powerful reflection of your shared. We cannot overemphasize matters of curricula. The children and all of you have gone through a curriculum of some sort at either basic level, we all through up to university. But as we plan and move on with curricula, we plan for the next generation. We always look for a better next generation, which has gone through a better curricula. And curricula is what shapes all of us. It's what makes us what we are. It's not about going through schools to grow up, but to learn and to be. We look at a holistic, we look at a person in terms of what we teach, both directly and indirectly. That's why we have all sorts of modes of curricula. The transcript, the approved curricula, the hidden curricula, the all that curricula. But at the end of the day, it produces a person who would love to see, or whom the country and the community and the society of Uganda and globally would want to see. So I'm happy and proud that Uganda has, over the years, produced persons that have stood the test of time across the globe. In other words, we have had the global child. I'm privileged to speak on behalf of the National Curriculum Development Center, on my own behalf and on behalf of the institution at large, that has stood at the heart of the education system since 1973, when it was incepted. Our mandate is clear: to develop and review curricula and instructional materials for pre-primary, primary, secondary. We also play a vital role in supporting implementation of curricula through teacher training and orientation, educational research, and quality assurance, among other things, all geared towards having the kind of person that the country would love to see, and the kind of child, the kind of youth, the kind of whatever. Because as this person goes to universities, must be modeled by a certain system down here. And that system is what the national curriculum focuses itself on, such that when the child is eventually sent to tertiary institutions or to universities, they get a product that they would love to have, such that this product is not a headache in terms of not able to do even those assignments. So the modeling, the teaching, the preparation is all in the heart of the curriculum. That's why curriculum is the heart of education. At NCDC, we are driven by our mission also to create equitable quality curriculum that meet the needs of society. I've already said something about that. We do this by engaging stakeholders and who are, for example, you here, promoting inclusivity and embracing innovation. With the enacted amended Act of 2021, our scope was significantly broadened. We now have the responsibility to vet and approve external and international curricula before they are adopted by schools in Uganda. This mandate ensures that every curriculum aligns with Uganda's values, very important about values, educational standards, and development goals. At some time in our continent, the focus on values was left to be for granted. No wonder. I don't know how many of you in this room have not had your phone snatched or something happened. The values degenerated. But we are saying, can we bring back the glory of the kind of child that we want Uganda to see and love to be with? Distinguished guests, curriculum is not merely a list of subjects. It is a vision of our nation. It shapes the competencies, the values, and attitudes of our learners. In today's rapidly changing world, we must move beyond traditional knowledge-based approaches and shift toward competency-based education, or in other words, the skills. What is it that you can communicate in terms of doing and also living it? What about looking at all the domains that we talk about in education: the cognitive, the affective, and the psychomotor, and others. Our learners need to be innovative thinkers, effective communicators, and collaborative problem solvers. We are beginning to see that in our lower secondary curriculum, and I'm proud to mention that a number of parents have been telling us, oh, we are seeing a different child, slightly different than the one we had 2 years or 3 years ago, meaning that the impact is beginning to be felt despite the challenges and the circumstances under which we had this curriculum rolled out. This vision aligns with Sustainable Development Goal number 4 of the kind of person the world wants to see today. And we don't want our Ugandan person to remain behind. We want this child to be there and to stand the test of time, which calls for inclusive, equitable, and high-quality education for all. This upcoming conference is therefore not just another event. It is a critical platform for dialogue, collaboration, and progress. Together, we will explore bold new directions in curriculum design and share solutions to real-world challenges affecting education today. Our goal is to better equip learners with skills they need to thrive in our global economy. Allow me to highlight some of NCDC recent achievements, and I will really highlight them. At the pre-primary level, we have been looking at development of curriculum materials for pre-primary and for 0 to 3 years, which are conducted by caregivers, but also for 3 to 6 years, which strengthens what we call foundation education, and we know the importance, all of us. At the primary level, we have been following the benchmarking in several countries. We initiated a comprehensive curriculum review exercise currently ongoing, and a framework has been developed where we expect that the validation is going on with a number of stakeholders to see whether the thinking is aligned with the expectation of our people. And we hope that it will be taken to a logical conclusion. The secondary level, we rolled out the lower secondary, but we have now been aligning the A-level curriculum to also competency-based approach to allow for smooth transition of learners from the lower secondary to the upper secondary, but of course eventually to universities. And I'm happy that universities are trying to align with the curriculum that we've developed. That means that at the end of the continent, we shall see the kind of products that we have been yearning to see in our next generation. It might be too late for the generation that is in this room, but we think that we shall have the kind of person that we love to see. The special needs education has continued to adapt the materials. The lifelong and co-curricular activities is another department that we have, and it's looking at development of materials and resources that are to help in promoting co-curricular, but also talent development. We know that we've been asked, what about the talents? A lot of our people have good talents. How are we nurturing them? And if we're going to nurture talent, we need materials, we need to write something, we need guidelines, we need resource books, so that the talents of our people can be nurtured to another level and we get a whole person. We are looking at getting a whole person. The ICT department is dealing with a number of integration and digitizing materials, but also looking at how we can have an ICT enhanced teacher training programs. Research and evaluation, that's the reason we are here. They are preparing, they have done. They are looking at a recent study of looking at the most feasible, how many languages? We have 66 languages in the Constitution. But how many languages should we use as a medium of instruction? And looking at it and arriving at the decision on how many languages requires a scientific approach. And therefore, there is a study that is going on to try and inform the country and our political leadership on that. We have the library services where we look at the Orange Book. The Orange Book is mainly to look at materials, to give a list of materials that have been approved by national curriculum, but also the national curriculum materials themselves. I'd like to reflect on the successes of our first international conference, which brought experts together and led to the creation of the NCDC Journal on Curriculum Development, Evaluation, and Education, now home to several peer-reviewed and upgraded academic papers. I'm happy that NCDC, being a non-teaching academic institution, is going towards publishing and having papers and having its own journal where we can publish, among the others where our people publish, but it encourages our staff to be in the world of the academia, to write and publish. And I'm happy that we have that has taken off, and we are happy to move it forward. In closing, I express my heartfelt appreciation to all of you, to all our partners here today, the institutions, the organizations, the media. You are most welcome, and individuals for your unwavering support. As we prepare for this important conference, I kindly call upon you once again for your continued partnership and financial support. Your contribution is vital to the success of this initiative. Let us work together for the good of this country, Uganda, and to bring back the glory where people used to be proud that they studied in Uganda, where people were proud that they are educated in Uganda. We want to see that it continues. So the sustainability of it begins with some things that look like a small contribution, and one of them, this conference, which we are preparing for. So we need to make a lasting impact on the future of education of Uganda, but for also the future of the next generation that we continue to prepare for God and my country. And you are welcome once again.
Thank you very much, Dr. Grace Baguma, Director, NCDC, for those remarks. When this conference was set up, a steering committee was appointed, and it is headed by Dr. Richard Irumba, who is also the Deputy Director, Research, Consultancy, and Library Services. To hear, let's welcome his remarks.
Thank you, the Master of Ceremony. The Chairperson of the NCDC Governing Council, who also happens to be the Vice Chancellor of Gulu University, and also the Chairperson of the Vice Chancellor's Forum, distinguished guests in your various capacities, participants, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It's both an honor and a privilege to welcome you to the official launch of the second International Conference on Curriculum Development, which is being organized by the National Curriculum Development Center. As the Chief Editor and the Chairperson of the Conference Steering Committee, I'm genuinely excited to see so many of you here today. This event is more than just a ceremonial start. It marks the beginning of an exciting journey towards what promises to be a memorable second international conference. The theme of the conference is innovative curriculum approaches for sustainable education in a globalized world. And the important aspects we're addressing in this conference are matters of innovation and how we can promote innovation in our country, how we can be able to develop appropriate solutions for our country. It is also focusing on sustainability of education in the country. And we're not only looking at what is happening in Uganda, we live in a global world. The students or the learners who study in Uganda work both in the country and even beyond the country. So we are preparing a learner fit in a global world. This theme is timely and urgent. We are living in an era where education must evolve rapidly to meet the demands of the 21st century, which among others include advancements in technology and artificial intelligence, which is real, and we're living with it now, the challenges of climate change, and those are the matters of sustainability which we need to look into, and the shifting expectations of learners and societies alike. This conference, ladies and gentlemen, invites us to rethink education. It challenges us to embrace innovation in curriculum design and curriculum implementation. Our sub-themes in the conference reflect this broad and forward-looking vision, covering several critical areas, including the integration of information and communication technology and artificial intelligence in the education system. It includes discussion on sustainability and global citizenship. It includes embracing interdisciplinary and indigenous knowledge systems. We have very rich traditional knowledge systems, which are not well documented and not well utilized. Foster development. We shall have discussions in the conference talking about promoting competency-based education and entrepreneurship. As Director mentioned, we rolled out the implementation of the competency-based education system in the lower secondary, and we have now transitioned to the upper secondary, or what we call A-level. And we are proceeding as well, as Director mentioned, to review the primary curriculum so that it is as well aligned to the secondary curriculum. We shall also have discussion in the conference talking about inclusivity, enhancing inclusivity, and early childhood care and education. Director has well remunerated that. We shall also have discussions on strengthening teacher training using both conventional approaches and digital approaches. And then we shall also have discussion on developing innovative instructional materials, especially the non-text instruction materials. So, ladies and gentlemen, together with these sub-themes form a comprehensive framework for building a resilient, inclusive, and future-ready education system. One of the key objectives of today's launch is to raise public awareness about the significance of this conference. We also take this moment to officially launch our resource mobilization and fundraising efforts. Your interest, our dear partners, engagement and support, whether through partnerships, through sponsorship, or participation, are vital for the success of this initiative. I'm pleased to report that the response to our call for abstracts has been incredibly encouraging. We started calling the abstracts in March of this year, and we have received very good response from across the globe. We have received diverse and insightful submissions from researchers, from educators, and from practitioners across the globe. These contributions are a testament to the shared commitment to transforming education, and we look forward to receiving even more submissions as we move forward. The call for abstracts is still open, up to the 31st of August 2025. Allow me to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed partners whose support helped make our inaugural conference in 2023 a great success. It was a great success. It was held at the Speaker Resort and Conference Center in Munyonyo. We had over 520 participants taking part in, different people participating in the conference. We had the presentations of more than 55 papers. We had panel discussions. We had the different elements, different aspects and different discussions which happened in that conference. It was indeed a success, and the NCDC journal was born out of that conference. So your dedication, partners, your trust, and the financial contributions played an essential role. As we gear up for the second conference, we are eager to strengthen existing partnerships and welcome new collaborations. Looking ahead, we have an exciting and rich program in store featuring keynote addresses from renowned thought leaders, interactive panel discussions, poster presentations, exhibitions where you, the different partners, can be able to exhibit the different products and different activities which you are engaged in, and networking opportunities. It's an international conference where attendance will be drawn from within Uganda and even beyond. So it's a good forum for networking. There will also be breakout sessions where different researchers, break out and present your papers and have detailed discussion of your research findings and the implications in terms of policy and other ways. We shall have a series of social events, all of them designed to foster collaboration and forge meaningful connections. My message to each of you is simple but very sincere from deep down my heart. Stay involved in organizing this activity. Share your knowledge. Encourage your networks to participate. And if you can, support this conference through donations. Every contribution, large or small, helps us bring together the brightest minds to shape the future of education. Let us make this conference, ladies and gentlemen, a dynamic platform where ideas flourish, partnerships grow, and real change takes root. Thank you all for your presence, your commitment, and your belief in the transformative power of education in Uganda and beyond. For God and my country, and as I mentioned, as Kanari mentioned, I'm called Dr. Richard Irumba. I'm the Deputy Director at NCDC, responsible for research, consultancy, and library services. And I'm also honored to be the Chief Editor and the Chairperson of the Steering Committee, which is organizing this international conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Irumba. Indeed, resource mobilization is a key driver towards the success of this conference that is coming up on the 23rd and 24th of April next year. And we already have confirmed sponsorship, and would like to get to that part for the institutions that have already confirmed sponsorship. we take this opportunity to declare the sponsorship packages and
they are representatives of key stakeholders. There is Dr. Kamatenesi. Please come forward and hand over your message. We'll do a ceremonial handover, so perhaps you can come to the front here.
The other side so that the press can capture
bring the check in front here like this. She can come, yeah, she can come and just stand here. That's a 10 million check from Mamita Training Foundation Center for NCDC. The other check that is going to be handed over is inline printers. Do you have a representative from inline printers? Inline print services, right there. That's a check of 28 million towards the conference. There are so many other institutions and companies that have committed, but because of time, they will be, we'll receive them later. But for now, amidst us is our guest of honor, and we are honored to have you here. He is NCDC. He's also the Vice Chancellor of University and the chairperson of the Vice Chancellor's Forum. Welcome with me, Professor George Lada Openjuru, for his remarks.
So thank you very much. Allow me to stand. No teachers like to talk maybe far from this. So all invited guests, in various capacity, our sponsors and the supporters for this prospective conference. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and a privilege to welcome you to the launch of this second international conference on curriculum organized by the National Curriculum Development Center. This conference builds on the success of the inaugural conference that we held in 2023 at Speak Resort Conference Center in Munyonyi. The curriculum conference, such as this particular conference that we are organizing, plays a very vital role in evolving the educational landscape in the world, literally, and specifically in countries, particularly Uganda. They provide essential platform for research, innovation, and exchange of ideas Most importantly, they facilitate networking and knowledge sharing, connecting education professionals across the globe. Through this engagement, we collaborate to design and implement improved systems and strategies that will shape the future of education, not just in Uganda, but in the world at large. The National Curriculum Development Center aligns its mandate with the National Development Plan for the fourth NDP or NDP4, as you like, which aims to enhance human capital development along the entire life cycle. This conference presents an invaluable opportunity to learn from the global perspective, which will in turn inform our national education strategies and contribute to the development of a skilled and productive workforce for the country and for the economy. As the National Curriculum Development Center Governing Council, we remain committed to providing sound policy guidance that promotes human capital development. Our overarching goal is to ensure that learners acquire relevant and employable skills that meet the ever-evolving demands of the global workforce, and particularly the national workforce. We extend our sincere gratitude to all the stakeholders who have supported the organization of this launch. Your contributions are invaluable, and we are confident that the second international conference will be a resounding success, just like the first one. We call upon you all to support the organization of this conference as much as you can in all the ways that you are able to. I thank you for your kind attention, and please, when we invite you, come in the numbers that we are happy. Stay welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. He's Chairperson Governing Council of the NCDC. Thank you for those remarks. And now, the official launch of the second international conference on curriculum development. I request the guests to stand up and do the official launch by passing the ribbon. Yeah. We'll get questions from the media. You might have to suspend the chairs for a little bit. The cutting of the ribbon will be led by our guest of honor.
Yes, close the director.
But I think they want to see this one.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, and ladies and gentlemen, you can go.
The second international conference on curriculum development has been officially launched. It will be taking place at Speak Resort Munyonyo next year on the 23rd and 24th of April. This follows a very successful one that was held in 2023 that attracted more than 500 guests from across the globe. We'll do a few signatures here and then take questions from the media. The theme for the conference is Innovative Curriculum Approaches for Sustainable Education in a Globalized World. You can look at the themes right there. We'll also get representatives from the different stakeholders to sign. Maybe, yeah. Maybe because I had advised, because of how the media is set up, we do the Q&A and then we sign. Yes, so we sit again.
So feel free, even later you can come and sign.
Yes, the board will still be open. And now, we're going to entertain questions. Your name, media house, and your question, and who it is directed to. Name, question. They are there. Is this to assume that the media is satisfied with the information that was given about the conference? It was in plain English, surely.
I think let people be free. We are NCDC. You are free to ask any other question. You need to not related.
Okay, we have a question from NBS.
Yes, my name is Salman Amwanje, newspaper at NBS TV. We understand the A-level curriculum was put on hold because of some challenges. Maybe as of 25th June, we would like to get an update of how far you've gone and yeah, when should we expect it?
Any other question? We'll let the director answer that.
Thank you very much, Salma. As you are aware, we started the long journey of the, first of all, an intervention to align, because the children cannot wait. There are children who were coming from the lower secondary curriculum to A-level. So we align with the existing, but switched it a bit to competency-based, to skills promotion, and to also aligning it on how to assess children in terms of being innovative and all those generic skills as you know them. So the quick intervention will take us for about 3 years as we go on a major review of the one that we had started on. We had reached somewhere, the long journey of the process, and we are continuing with that as the children go through an aligned version that is competency-based, that is related to what they were learning and how they were learning in the lower secondary. So that's what is happening, and we are starting with we started with a major review, which will take us about 3 to 4 years. And by that time, there will be some few changes which will align with, again, the expectations of the world, but also the expectations of what has been done at the lower secondary. So I'm glad to mention that currently, the children are going through a competency-based curriculum at A level, And to us, that's a very good preparation for them to go to tertiary institutions. But also, they will be assessed in a manner that brings out the kind of learning that they are going through. We are right now engaging with Ghana National Examinations Board, working out the modalities of how these children will be assessed come next year. They submit.
Thank you, Director. Any other question? Okay, go on.
Thank you very much, Eva. I'm glad to mention, and I want to thank the government for having supported us by giving us the money. Indeed, that's how we've managed to call the writers panel, the writers, and all of us, and we've gone through the first set of training. Yes, the government supported us with the finances, and even in the coming financial year, government has provided a budget to specifically deal with actually the curriculum review processes across the board, not only A-level, whatever, because as I said earlier, we started also on primary. So the continued capacity building, it's a continuation. It's not something that you do and it's a one-off. And it's our expectation that it will be a continuous process until we have done the capacity building for the teachers, but also the other processes that go in with supporting the proper implementation. Because as you are aware, it's implementation which normally challenges the curriculum. Otherwise, the writing and the written things are all very good, but we need to build the capacity. We need to see that the system is well empowered to continue managing. I know that those that are in the beginning may not have 100%, but we continue improving every year. So yes, the government supported us, and that's how we've managed to have the aligned curriculum, and we are beginning on the long process of completing the review of the A-level, and also the primary curriculum.
Okay, we have another question.
Thank you very much. NCBC. I want to commend you for what you are doing. You know there is media, but there are also some of us who do social media who are promoters of NCDC.
Yes.
And therefore it should be taken care of. You know that there are people who talk for you and who know what you are doing, and commend you for the good work you are doing. Ughanda's education is what it is because of NCDC. You deserve special attention and you deserve special recognition at whatever it is. At least for the last conference, I participated in the review of the papers. And they were very nice papers. I was seeing how people are writing from this secondary education, the primary teachers who are writing from their heart. I don't know if you have published the book. You go and read those papers. You will see how important it is. And they are really giving the actual information of what is taking place in some of the classes where we are not. So I think it is worth it. So your conference, organizing it, you deserve public support. And you deserve government support as well. And I'm happy to have new visitor now. Who I happen to have been a member with Dr. Dr. Baguma. I can assure you, whenever we are discussing issues on curriculum, we always come to you. Even at UVitam. In the universities, there was this Professor Openju. Whenever we discuss, we always come back to you. So you can see how you are influencing the landscape of education in Uganda and beyond. So my forthcoming that I want us to really also focus on as we do this conference, the private sector and world of work. Their involvement needs to be taken care of. They are the problem, sometimes we are the problem creators. They can be the problem analyzers. They can be the problem solvers. And they are the ones who are employing the products that you channel. So I am of the view that in the next conference, have as many as you can, the private sector to come on board. Whatever little they have, let them bring it up. I even attended online your presentations. It was very good. And I believe when you look at even the structure, you see a very rich program. You see very good topics and they will come up. And I'm of the view that if you get many publications, please try to accept as many of them, validate them, they have ideas that we can get another level. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. There's a question here.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Christos. I am with Community Security. When I look at the theme of today, creative curriculum approaches, what comes into my mind is creativity, digitization. And I thought that it's a part of the purpose of curriculum. I want to understand from you what unique thing, what thing can I say that is cool when I'm going to work such a thing? Because it's like as if people are doing what you're talking about today. Try to make me understand that.
What unique thing is in the theme?
Yes, I want to understand. You see, NCDC has been digitizing, bringing about creativity, object-based curriculum, all the things that we can before. I just want to understand from you, this conference, what unique things you
The first one that comes in my mind is having the holistic approach to bringing up an educated person. When you say the person is educated, in what totalness are we seeing? So we are combining different themes here so that we can debate and discuss matters that can make an improvement on the kind of products that we talked about across our presentation. The holicism of the product of an education system. So what is it that we prepare you not to be just an academic or a person who has passed exams, but a person who can live with what you have been empowered with, a person who has character, a person who has values, a person who has the academic rigor that we require. So the holicism is what we see in our debate. And also a person who has been empowered with emerging issues. Because the world is looking out for certain things. It's no longer enough to teach me about those abstracts in chemistry. But how can you teach me about how to use artificial intelligence to get information? How can you teach me how to make use of AI, for example? So actually the emerging trends that are requiring the education system to teach things, different things, to teach me how to access information using AI, and the teacher becomes only a facilitator of that information. So that the methodologies, the pedagogical approaches, the things that we should begin to do differently to bring out a product. Don't come to tell me about, oh, chemistry is this, but history is this. No. Tell me how to access that, because the information is there. And you are going to begin to twitch the curriculum design on how can children learn how to learn. For example, how do we package content that is teaching me on learning how to learn? And learning how to learn using AI, using all sorts of methods of research. So that's the theme. And then how do we also turn around and say, the traditional knowledge, the indigenous knowledge, why did we put it on the shelf? Is it important when we are talking about climate change issues now? What kind of that information that we have ignored and said it is primitive, and yet people are going back to herbal, to this, to traditional agriculture methods. So there is all sorts of things that are combined in these themes that and areas of focus that we need to see. We are looking at a person that is standing the expectations of 21st century or 22nd if we are moving to 22nd.
Thank you.
When you do a review, and you can do a review or a total shift, you are looking at what has emerged. What does the world want to see in a primary child today? So it's not a matter of removing and turning around. No, it's a matter of aligning to make you relevant. Because the education, the validity and reliability must be relevant. And people should rely on an educated person, on a person who has gone through primary. So what relevance is what you are going to learn at primary today for the expectations of 22nd century? Because me, I've moved away from 21st now. So, in other words, are we, and also the other aspect that is the underlying issue in the primary review is the alignment with the lower secondary curriculum. We want to see that we talked about competencies, but we align them such that when we give you the competencies, by the way, which are age appropriate, because we are looking at 14-year-old or 12 by the time you finish primary. So we must be giving you competencies that are aligned, or else we stand the problem of international labor laws. So are we aligning your competencies at that level with the expectations of the world and with also age appropriate, such that they can bring you smoothly into transitioning to lower secondary and then of course to upper secondary and to universities and tertiary institutions. So the review is looking at, and remember, there were certain gaps that were identified as we implemented for the last 17 years. One of them, again, much as we reviewed, the curriculum still was overloaded for that age. So we are looking at, is the content still too much for this young child? Because people kept on coming to us and said, children are going to school at 5 a.m. and leaving at late in the night. What are you doing to them at that age? I was seeing a video recently that, the organs continue to grow as children are in primary, and you are keeping them in that four walls for all those many hours to supplicate the growth of their internal organs. And many other health issues that have come in. So we are looking, are we still fair to this young child with the content that we packaged? If we are not, how can we make it lighter and then they find the other one late? That's why we also have the issue of lifelong learning. Because we cannot learn everything in the curriculum. We can't. And we know practically we can't. Some of the things we learn them along the way as we move, going to school and back. So there is that aspect of aligning to 21st century, but also looking at competency-basedness, but again revisiting to see where are we still overloading the child. And if we are overloading, what is it that we can make them learn, remain relevant, but proceed, progress, or whatever? That's the effort.
Okay, we'll close the Q&A for now. For the interviews, especially those that want to do interviews in other languages, we'll do them from outside. We have breakfast downstairs, and for now, our guests, led by the director, will go downstairs at the reception for a good photo. Thank you very much.
You should have one or so that I don't take this one alone. They were saying it is for the director, and I'm just remembering that I should have given from the chance. Yes, he has let my chairperson have a chance to answer one question. And keep the show and the ocean. You ask him. Because we are getting, yes, but he's our boss. So,
if you have not signed outside here, please ensure that you sign. Otherwise,